a little bit of quick context. I went on a bachelor party trip once upon a time now. It was last June. The whole time I was recording video, at least until the camera ran out, and I hardly ever bring a charger, probably through some fatalistic tendency I have to believe that you only get one battery, or you should. But all I got was the rafting trip, and that's plenty enough footage that it's taken me this long to actually get it set up. So, let's take a walk back through, or a roll back through, the wonderful Will Mitchell's bachelor party. So, that's Will's wife now. She's a darling. Mary Shirley, what's up? On this particular day, the day of the start of the bachelor party, before everything got going, we took a walk, and I think we got some lunch or something like that, but we were walking back, and there was this pigeon just hanging out. And hanging out is relative. The pigeon was definitely not just hanging out. Couldn't move, couldn't get back up to its family, which was all kind of high up there in the rafters above the underpass that we were walking under here. And Mary, being the angel of mercy that she is, decided that we needed to make a little bed for him, and at least give him a little bit more time to develop some of his finer featherings. Took the train from Denver to Grand Junction, where my grandparents are at. Probably my favorite stretch of train that I've ever been on. Usually about 8 hours to Grand Junction, 6 hours to Glenwood. Glenwood's where I used to get off a lot, but now that my grandparents are in Grand Junction, that's the spot. Pass up through the hills. This trip in particular was flooded with people, man. You couldn't get a seat in that main booth. They got the observation car with the bubble overhead where you can just look out and watch everything go by. We played games, had Bloody Marys, joked a lot, had a good time. Evan, Kevin, Will, Eric. 2 more to join us. 3 more to join us. The whole bachelor party was kind of a cool adventure where everybody met up at different points. So the 4 of us playing Dragoon on the train. You'll meet Logan shortly, and Phil and Chad, who all showed up towards the rafting part. And then as we got to the music festival, everybody parted ways, and we ended up with -2. 5 total to finish out. It's my grandparents' place. Rained all day. My grandparents, Don, Jill, and my new hat. Yeah, $10 Cabela. They took us down to the put-in, which is down past Fruita on I-70. You cross over into Utah on this particular stretch of river. Ruby Canyon, Horsethief Canyon. It's super slow typically, but the water was up to 31,000 CFS the day we put in. And the last time I ran this thing, it was 9,000 CFS. So 3 times as much water and 3 times as much speed. We got done with everything that we would normally get done with in an hour. And the river was running so fast that the put-ins were tough. Everything's flooded. Just getting to the campsites, you couldn't see your stick in the mud to tell you where you were. The boys all crash landed the other boat at our first put-in, and in the rescue, Phil lost his left sandal. It was a bit of a struggle the first day. Chad thinking that he might do the hotel on the way back. Hide in the shade when you could. Avoid the ants.
The Dub Style Connection.
Yeah, Evan hiked up the night that we landed, and unbelievably, frankly, the dude was just gushing sweat and shaking from the crash landing, but he still ran up when all the rest of us were just trying to hide and found this place. So we all hiked up there in the morning, and Kevin freshed up some coffee. Maybe everybody freshed up some coffee, and we watched the day come on in a beautiful way. It was a spectacular vista, and everybody was kind of feeling recovered from the hardships and, frankly, endurance rest that we went through the night before. Evan found a bug. He was breaking camp, and showed it to me eventually. I don't know how he caught it, but the thing was monstrous. In size. And I can't say that I find bugs of this sort beautiful in any way, but I think how much how much more interesting to look at them with a fascinated eye than with a disgusted eye. So maybe monstrous is the wrong word, but like cockroaches, you know? They're beetles and stuff. Bugs in general, you just don't understand them, man. They don't move like you expect them to. They have different physical skill sets and traits, and they're pretty amazing little things. There's so many of them too. Gotta get used to them. They're here with us till the end. So the second night, we did 2 nights on the river. The second night, we were camping at Black Rock 7, and we'd been corrected by our the put-in guides. They essentially moved us from Black Rocks 2 or 3 to Black Rock 7 because the site was nicer and the landing was easier. With a river this high, you get a lot of you can get strainers where you'll get a bunch of debris all caught up, sticks, netting, this we pulled this stuff out of a strainer, this sweet ass cooler, all this cold beer.
We started to untether it as we were floating, and I was like, what is this string attached? Pulling. It's like dragging weeds off the bottom.
Jules was the name of the person who had lost it. We ended up returning her paddleboard, her inflatable pad rather, and that cooler at the end of the trip. She'd lost him 2 weeks ago when she fell off in a rapid. Floated downstream and probably just found her way out with another group, but it's pretty eventful digging it off. The power of the river just kind of holds that stuff against strainers, and that's kind of when you realize how much like a bug you are. Little teeny arms and big strong world. Anyway, we celebrated around the beers. We were actually running low, so it was perfectly timed to get a loot. This was at the top of Black Rock, so you could walk up there and look down, watch as we lightened the boats and just sent 2 guys in each one down through it. And it's not, you're not looking at big waves, but what you're looking at is big water that just wants to move you at a high speed past where you want it to. And do your best to stay high, but that water you just get cranking, and eventually your shoulders wears out, the boat's turning in ways you didn't expect. Will and I got to do a boat, and I felt good. I love going into rapids. There's something about setting yourself up right, watching how the river wants to take you, staying as close as you can to that rock, because everything just wants to pull you right. And then boat turns, we still got it. It's just aiming for the eddy up high, and kind of at one point I was stoked enough to stop paddling because we were in. Oh God. And as I told Will later, hubris, man. You end up downriver. That was good humbling lesson. The beach itself was pretty well sought after. We, on landing, were asked if we wanted to change spots by the guy who made fun of us for missing our spot so badly. And we immediately rejected all of his advances and took what was the coolest hangout place. It was, we landed so early because the water was so fast that we could essentially chill from like noon till the next day. The sun kind of came in and over. You play while it's sunny, and as the shade comes in, you set up your fire and just watch the way the light changes. We bought inflatable floaties and couldn't even use them. The water was so high. I mean, I guess I jumped in it once, but to say that was using it is nothing compared to years past. Kevin was intent on navigating narrow channels and using the extra oar. Yeah, I made some caramels just before we left. First time I've ever made caramels. Homemade caramel. Delicious stuff. Holy shit. Bought a candy thermometer. People were snacking on them. It's kind of like they were eating squash bugs or something. They were all wrapped up and melty. Evan really wanted to go on a walk, so he led everybody on a walk. We kind of headed up the side of the grass hill. Everybody peeking a little bit as we got up to this cool red alcove of sandstone. Yeah. Love you, Will.